It is time to expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks. It is time to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. It is time for the Captain Talks Flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. And ladies and gentlemen, this past week I went back to the world of spy vs. spy, cloak and dagger, to the world of espionage. Got to chill with some slow horses, and we're gonna get into that. But first, a couple things. I want to give a big shout out to Kenya. Got some plays over in Kenya this past week. Gracias, gratitude, Toraba, and Kenya. I always wanted to go on a safari in your country. I heard they're absolutely magnificent. So one of these days, I'm going to go on a safari in Kenya, hang out, chill, see the sights, vibe, have some food. It'd be awesome. So thanks for listening. Gracias, gratitude. And additionally, this episode is brought to you by the album called The OODA Loop by yours truly, the Captain Che Cortez. It's me rapping in my unique style over sci-fi melodic hypnotic beats. I guarantee you never heard anything like it in your life. So if you want to hear the album called The OODA Loop, check it out. I'll put the link below. Now, let's get on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this past week we went back to Slow Horses, episode 2 of season 5. And we got to see what Jackson Lamb and crew were up to. Now, the first episode, there was some crazy shooter dudes shooting things up, and they're looking into that. But also, one of their own guys was getting kind of like stalked or chased after, hooked up with this lady. They suspect the lady was a honey trap, and they're trying to figure out what's going on with that. There's a lot happening, man. They got to figure out, as usual, this group of people that are just so crazy, these outcasts from the rest of MI5. So they're together, they're trying to figure things out, deal with the trauma, like you said, from last season when they lost some people. So that's going on, right? And the story is getting really good. But there's something specifically I want to talk about in this episode. Now, I've watched Jackson Lamb, the previous 4 seasons, and now. And I might have talked about before, but I'm going to really dive into this. Jackson Lamb appears to be comfortable in all scenarios. Like everywhere he goes, he just seems super comfortable. No matter who he talks to, where he's at, always comfortable. Now, currently, this is a life goal. It's a life goal for the captain to be comfortable everywhere. And I'll be honest, I don't really achieve that. There's certain spaces I'm not, certain places I'm not yet. But Jackson Lamb appears to have that mastered. Now, as I navigate time, like I said, I want to achieve that. I don't know how it's going to take me to achieve it. I may never achieve it, but this is life goal. I wonder what you think about that. Now, additionally, too, when I observe people in the real world, the older people they get, it seems the less they even care what's going on, unless they give an F. And I think that makes them more comfortable. But Jackson Lamb, I think, is really good at figuring this out because he just doesn't care. He's anywhere, whatever, act how he wants, does whatever he wants. He's very rude, doesn't follow social protocols. He does not care. This character is absolute crazy. This is one of the best characters on TV right now. I've been watching for the last 4 seasons, and he's just a crazy man. But interestingly enough, he does get things done. So he may come off a little brash or rough or whatever. He's super intelligent. Super intelligent. He's able to figure things out magnificently. And one of the things I strongly believe in the last 10 years is intelligence is very important. Learning things, to be able to critically think, to figure things out, to ask questions. These are all vital to live on planet Earth. Now, we can learn from Jackson Lamb. Now, sure, is he wild? Is he crazy? Is he act weird? Is he, kind of rude? Can be discussed out? Yes. But he is very smart, good at critical thinking, good at figuring things out, and he just is comfortable everywhere. And I feel the attributes of this particular spy would serve us well in this real world. Now, additionally, as you watch Slow Horses this season and the previous seasons, there's a lot of aspects of this show that you could look at and learn and apply to your own life. Now, I've read countless spy books, fiction and nonfiction, and I've read books specifically about spying things for business or living life. There's just a lot of things you can learn from that world that will really help you thrive and do well in the real world. Now, in my current life, I do take a lot of the readings I've read, things I've saw on TV, documentaries, whatever, and I've applied to my life, and I have been able to do better than before when I started adding these things to my life. Now, to get back to the horses, As you watch this, you're just gonna learn and see a lot. There's a lot of things to be experienced, pay attention to. Like I said, I always get Google out and start Googling things while I'm watching sometimes to kind of explore things a little bit deeper. It's just a great, great show. And additionally, it's set in the UK, bro. It's overseas. You might not be familiar with UK at all. And if you want to see what it's about, watch this show. You get to see UK. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's one of the places I definitely want to travel to when I start traveling globally. Have some chip-ins, as they call it, and just chill. So anyways, this show is absolutely magnificent. So like I said, first episode, they're dealing with a lot of political violence in this show. It does reflect the real world quite well. So real quick, I'm going to get this real quick. It's not political. I'm just going to say this about the movie, about the show and real life. Now, in the current society we live in, on the TV show and in current life, there's a lot of bickering between certain groups, political groups in the United States of America where I live, right? There's a lot of different opinions, different ways of doing things, ideas of how to achieve things. But I will say this, I think the common thread is this. I think I've said it before. I think they're doing it because they really care about America. I don't think any of these people you see on the screen, no matter what side of the aisle, what group, they really want America to fail. They just want it to win in different ways. That's it. They have different visions of goals of how it's going to win. And unfortunately, it does cause a little bit of conflict. It's even getting violent, unfortunately, but very unfortunately, which is messed up. We do not need this in the country I live in. Back in the day, they were able to, to cross the aisles. They say compromise more. It's like now not so much, which is really a shame because I feel if we're divided, we could fall. And so to bring it back to this show, these spies and this show, and just in general, they're really good at thinking in an apolitical way. And looking at the data information, just analyze it with an unbiased look. A lot of the analysts in spy world, well, it doesn't matter what organization, when they analyze data, they really look at it objectively and just put away the emotion and the other extra crap. It's just the facts, man. Is look at the data, try to analyze the best they can. We need more of that in modern society, and put away all the the emotion and all the extra smoke and mirrors. Just get to the core of it, and because you see what happens in the show and in the real life, people start getting so mad they're taking kinetic action because they're so angry at what's happening. And some of these things, come on, just relax. And we're living on planet Earth. We're in society. We're in the most technological advanced society in history, right? And we're so at each other's throats. It's very unfortunate. Now, one last thing I'm gonna say. You may see on the TV screen, it looks a certain way in the United States of America. It looks, you might think, oh my gosh, it's falling apart. I live here in my day-to-day. 99% of the people are fantastic humans I meet. They're nice, they're cool, they're respectful, have a good conversation. Everyone's cool, it's chill, at least in my community. I don't know about anywhere else. So a lot of the internet is just showing the worst of people in our country and elsewhere. I'm sure where you live and I see things online, it's probably not like, I'm sure there's regular people doing regular things. People going to work, trying to pay jobs, trying to take care of the kids, get groceries, make their home nice, get cars or go to the park, whatever. It's not all that TV, internet crap, right? So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry about getting my soapbox, but this show is phenomenal. Watch this. You will be entertained if you want to go into the spy world. And I will say this. This is one of the best spy shows that has been created in the last 20, 30 years. My top spy show right now is The Bureau. And if you haven't seen it, the French one, you should check it out. It's phenomenal. But this Slow Horses is probably the top 5. I'm pretty sure it is. Also with Sandbagger sits in there as well. But this is right up in there. So ladies and gentlemen, I highly recommend you go and check out Slow Horses. You will not be disappointed. And this completes the podcast. And until next time, we'll see. I want the freedom to try everything. Jim Morrison. Until next time, it's Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks.